Hi everyone, we're back again talking about teen anxiety. And today I thought we'd talk a little bit about teen anxiety around social media. You know, it's a really big thing in everyone's lives now. You know, even myself, I have to use social media to get to the people who really need to hear what I have to say. But for our kids, it seems to be almost an addiction as to how they need their phone with them or they need to be on the computer talking to people. So, what can we do as mums about social media? So, I was thinking about it myself and also listening to my clients because when I listen to my clients, I suppose get a bit of an insight as to what they're thinking and how they see social media, and also how they see our parents and social media. So it's from both angles I'm talking today about this thing of anxiety and social media. Just thinking about how my clients feel when they come to see me. And I've seen children as young as 8 or 10 with anxiety these days, which to me is incredible. You know, when I was a child, I'm sure when parents of our children were children themselves, we just went outside, played, talked with our friends, met up at the park, all those sort of things. And that's how we sort of like, I suppose, had our social engagements. Sometimes, obviously, it was friends of our mums and dads that came round. But these days, it's mainly the teens who are at school, so their peers at school, and if they're actually engaged in a sport or something after school, that they find their friends. The ones with anxiety who come to see me are often, I suppose, socially anxious. So therefore, they feel judged by their peers or by the people that they, really want to impress, their teachers, their parents. And that's very, I suppose, difficult for them then to tell people what they're thinking or air their social anxiousness. So, who can they air it to? And quite often, that's people on social media. It may not be people that they know, but it may be people who come forward and start talking about how they feel. The only thing that really is worrying for parents is, are they talking to the right sort of people? Are those people even who they say they are? So, it's difficult, isn't it, for us to know? And I've got a question here, and it's sure it doesn't stop people with anxiety into their adulthood, which is true. Like it does follow us if we don't do something about it. When I was talking to my teens, quite often they would say it's not fair because, you know, my mum or my dad is always on social media. In fact, they interact with people on social media rather than myself or, my siblings. That's really difficult, isn't it? Because if I don't speak to the families, if I'm not speaking to the mums and the dads, then it goes nowhere because quite often the children aren't even allowed to say that to their parents. All they get is, well, I'm the adult here, and so I'm allowed to do whatever I want. Whereas when I'm talking to the parents, the engagement we have with our children is so important. Sitting down at meal times and having a meal with them. So when I talk to both the parents and the children, it seems to be that we can, I suppose, bridge the gap between what the kids want to say and what they're allowed to say. And obviously I'm the go-betweens because I can talk to both, and I can talk at an adult level, and also I can come down to their level, putting myself back into being a teen in this day and age, because I have children who have gone through that. And it's really important, isn't it, for us to go to look at their life, and what they might be thinking and why they need to interact with people who are there. So I'd like also to say to anyone here, if you have a child who is anxious, I'm always open to answering questions for you to try and understand them a little bit better. And the more I talk to my teens in my sessions, the more insight I have to how this all pans out. And if we don't talk and interact with one another, then it becomes much bigger a problem than it probably needs to be, because it really is this thing of understanding each other. So if you have anyone who you think might benefit from watching these live TV shows, then please just invite them, and we can, I suppose, interact together so that we can help each other in this difficult time. One of the things that I was talking about on a post at the moment was that one of my teens said that there wasn't anyone in her class in year 9 who she could pinpoint who was balanced and didn't have problems either at home or at school, or that they didn't have what they called depression and anxiety. I did ask her, when we talk about depression and anxiety, do you really understand it? Do you understand what's going on in the brain? And then what the cycle starts inside of the body? Because the brain starts off the cycle of anxiety. It also starts off the cycle of depression, because something happens and then we start telling ourselves the story of, was it us? Did we make that happen? Are we the bad person? And sometimes if it's a relationship that's broken down, that person who's on the other side of it gets us to feel like we're the one. We're the one who made that happen. Whereas actually it's always a two-way street, isn't it? Is that they also have a part in that themselves. And, if they don't see it, then they will go on and keep repeating and repeating the same problem. With COVID, it's brought up an awful lot of anxiety around, being with peers, being with people in a face-to-face situation. And so therefore they find social media to be something that they can connect. And I've got something else here. So someone said, about the children, having depression and having anxiety, and they don't even know what it is. And that's the crazy thing, really, is that even adults I have in here who say to me, oh, I've been diagnosed with anxiety and depression. And I say, so anxiety and depression, do you know what the difference is between those two? And they don't really know what the difference is, or why they're connected, or that they can be disconnected, and that one can be one thing and one can be something else. So it's very strange, isn't it? Is that we just don't know sometimes what's going on in the mind part of things. And when I explain it very simply to my teams, is that anxiety is your brain telling you you need to control something. You need to be in control. And quite often we can't be, can we? Because how can we control things around us? We can't control other people. We can't control the weather. We can't control whether we get hurt by someone or not. We can just decide how we deal with that. So it's, how do you deal with things that come along? On social media, of course, we can just block someone. If someone says something to us and we don't like it, we can block them. I've done it before. But our teens seem to be so reluctant to be able to block someone because they want to know what's being said about them. They want to know what someone's, doing behind their back even. So we've got someone else asking a question. I was going to ask how to deal with it. So how do you deal with social media for your children? The thing is that there are plenty of apps or websites that we can go to that allow us to see what's happening behind the scenes. We can actually see where they're going, so we can put a tracker on to their phone. And some people might say, well, that's an invasion of privacy. For me, it's actually knowing what my children are doing. And how do I take action then? I sit down and I decide with myself, what is the best action to take here? Do I take it up with my children? Do I let them know that I'm tracking them? Because, of course, once they know, they're very much going to be more sly about it. But if I just know what's happening, and then maybe I can pull them round and just talk generally or show them a program on whatever's going on. I was thinking to myself actually today, why, how would I deal with it if it was something about body image? And there's lots of programs that deal with body image and about how celebrities cover up all their, I suppose, things that they don't want someone else to see. Photoshop's a really big thing when we're looking at magazines because they want that person to appear perfect. And there is no perfect. Believe me, all those people who have body perfect have probably had something done like plastic surgery. And if they haven't, then they probably work out at the gym, I don't know, 8-10 hours a day, don't eat anything, whatever it is, to look the way they look. But our children don't see that, do they? Particularly our teens who are very body conscious. So we, as adults, we can, I suppose, steer them into the direction of looking at images that aren't perfect. Also, like, how do we weigh up whether to be healthy or whether to be skinny? So what's the best thing here? To be healthy or to be skinny? If we're not naturally skinny, right? If we're not naturally having that body that looks the way that obviously our children want to look. And also we could talk to the males in our family about, do they really want women who look that way? Is that something that we've conjured up in our own minds as to what our men want? Because men and boys are different and they don't always want that. If we talk to them about having plastic surgery for boobs, for instance, do they really want those plastic people, or do they really want something natural? So I think it's just getting our children to think in a certain way, isn't it? So, I think that we can steer them as parents as to how to, I suppose, see certain things. I was thinking also earlier about the thing of, do our kids really know who they're talking to? Do they really know who's on the other end? And if they're not FaceTiming, or if they're not actually having a screenshot of someone right there and they say, right, put up your right hand and make this symbol or whatever, so that they know. And that's something actually that came from one of my teens this week, was what I asked her, how does she know that she's talking to that person? And she said, well, I actually get them to do a screenshot of themselves doing something that I've asked them to do right then. So I know it's that person. This girl's pretty astute. She knows her stuff. And she's 14, very cluey. And she also said to me that she knows that her mum knows where she is. She's got a tracker on her phone, and she's happy with that because she knows that Telling lies will only get her into more trouble. How good's that? She does have a great mum, I must say, who actually gives her a little bit of leeway, but also has taught her really well into what she expects from her. And I think it's great, that she said, I don't always have the time to listen to all the stuff that's going on with her. So I'd like her to come and talk to you so that you and her and I can have this relationship whereby she can say anything. And if there's something troubling her, maybe I can do something about it. But I don't always have the time at the moment to listen to everything that she says. And I think that's absolutely amazing for a mum to be able to say that, right? Because we can't always find time or, be able to fix something that's going on with her mentally. So I think that, having that in her life is really making a difference. I'd also like for you to know that, if you really, if you've missed this or you want to go back and know some of the things I've been talking about, because obviously I can't talk about everything that I've got in front of me. So I might be missing some of the things that, that I've got here written down. So if you'd like to have the show notes to help you, then please just put note or notes in the bottom here, and we'll get back to you and send that straight into your messenger inbox so that you can have those to just read through and see if there's anything that really would help you as the parent of someone who's anxious. Also, I've done something which is for you mainly, which is to have a little bit of calm amongst a chaotic day, whereby you can sit down and listen to something like just a recording for you to be able to calm yourself down. Sometimes we just need those few minutes out so that we can think logically about something or calm down after we've had an explosion with one of our teens who's just playing up a little bit that day, right? To be able to just take ourselves away and go, it's okay to just have those times. It's going to happen. Teenagers can really push our buttons, but it's okay. So if you'd like that audio to listen to, just write calm in the notes, in the messengers, and we'll send that straight to you. It'll go straight to your inbox for you to listen to, and it might just help, right? Anything that I can do to help, because I've been there. I've been that mum, and that's why this is my mission, to help parents who have Hi, sorry, I think you lost me there. But I was just talking about that next week I'm going to be talking about mum guilt. And mum guilt can play a really big part in how we deal with our teens, because quite often us feeling guilty about things will bring us back to allowing them to do just as they want. So we'll be talking about that next week, and there will be some notes on that too. So always remember that if you miss this, or if you've gone in as a replay, you can actually get the notes from today as well. And you can also get the relaxation audio. So notes for the notes from today, and also calm so that you can get the relaxation video audio, sorry, so that you can just listen to it and be able to, in 10 minutes, calm yourself down from something that may have blown up. We know how difficult it can be when those teens push the buttons and tell us things that we really don't want to hear, like, you're a terrible mum, you don't know what it's like, you've never been there, you've never had to have this happen to you. And in some respects we haven't, right? Because we're living in a different time, we're living in a different era. However, we did have, you know, all the trials and tribulations of our era, and they might be different, but some of them are the same. So if you'd really like to continue this, to find out more, then you can also go to my website, or you can contact me on my mobile. So I'm going to finish here today, and we'll see each other next week, I hope. If there's anyone else who you think would really be needing to hear this, then please just contact them and give them the link. And if you can't find the link, then ask us and we'll give you the link for next week. Okay, so it's time to go now, and yes, I'd love to speak to you next week. Bye for now.